With a simple checklist, you can plan your day in just 5 minutes. Stay on top of your key priorities, balance looking after your people and getting the job done, and look after yourself. Focusing on the right things is a key leadership skill, and I have a one-page checklist to make sure you're doing that every single day. You can get it at leadershipjetway.com/checklist, and I'm going to talk you through how it works, because even if you don't go download it, you can still use these ideas to keep yourself on track. So what happens is the checklist has small groups of questions that you need to ask yourself every day. The first group is about ongoing priorities and asks, what's the most important thing going on right now? What's the impact on my team? And what must my response to this include or achieve? Now, most days, you're not going to change the answers to these questions. The most important thing might be the big trade fair in 2 weeks' time, or the planning bid you're submitting to your boss next month. Whatever it is, it'll just sit there for a while. But it's worth reminding yourself every day of the most important thing on your plate right now. Firstly, to make sure that day to day, week to week, you are devoting time to it. And secondly, to just double check that nothing else has emerged to overtake it. You know, something like the COVID rules changing and you suddenly have to send everyone home. So you have to check in with the ongoing priorities, but they don't necessarily drive actions every single day. For that, you need the next group of questions, which is the real daily planning stuff. And you need to ask yourself this at the end of the day, planning for tomorrow. The first question in this group is, have I been focusing enough on both tasks and people? You see, some days you need to really make sure that the job is getting done. And some days you need to focus on looking after your team. When things get stressful and busy, it's easy to focus too much on the tasks and not enough on the people. So it's worth checking in with yourself every day about whether you've been getting the balance right. Then you need to ask yourself, what's the most important thing I need to do tomorrow? And what's the time I'll allocate for it? You always need to know your most important task of the day, and you need to schedule time for it. For some people, it's first thing in the morning. That's when they get their most important stuff done. For others, it's right after lunch. Just make sure you know what's top of your list and when you're going to do it, okay? Next, you ask yourself, what are the other things that I have to get done? You see, it's all very well knowing your most important thing, but you're bound to have other things to do as well. If you run a good inbox system, you'll have reserved some things for tomorrow. You might have meetings in the diary, calls to make, and the regular day-to-day tasks you've got to get done. And most days, you can't just dump everything else because of your most important thing. So you have to, in your daily planning routine, remind yourself of what else needs to get done and make sure you have time for it. Next question, how will I maintain my own well-being? See, when you start a new leadership role or when things get busy and stressful, often the first things that we push to the side are the very things that keep us sane. So ask yourself every day, how am I looking after myself, right? Whether it's the gym or reading, walking, whatever it is that you do to keep yourself on an even keel, remember it and make time to do it. So as I said, you ask yourself all of these questions at the end of the day, planning for tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, the first thing you do is check in and ask yourself, has anything happened overnight to make me alter what I planned for the day? Maybe you woke up with a migraine. Maybe half your team has called in sick, or your boss has pulled a surprise inspection. Just give yourself a moment every morning to think through whether what you planned last night is still going to work today. If it is, off you go. If not, rewrite your plan for the day, okay? All you need is to download the checklist and take 5 minutes at the end of every day and just a few seconds at the beginning of the next day to ask yourself those questions. And you'll really then be staying on top of your priorities and making time for the work that matters. You'll be getting a great balance between thinking big on the most important thing going on right now and thinking small about what you're actually going to do today. And you see, leaders need to think small more often than you think. So after you've downloaded the checklist, you should probably watch this video next, where I give you 4 ways that thinking small will really improve your leadership. All right, so go watch that. I'll see you there. Bye.